Okay, let's look now at G. G has two predecessors, D and E. It means then come one level forward, and now I can put my G here, as close to the middle of these two, G. This needs a little bit of practice, but when you get the hang of it, then it becomes easier. H. H has the predecessor, B. Where is B? Here. Now, what I can do, if B is here, it's good. You can have at least in each level up to about 4 to 5 activities, no problem. So what I would do here is just create an H here and go B going to H. Now, activity I has H as a predecessor. What I can do, if H is here, I can put I here. Now, J has a predecessor of G and I. So I just come one more level, level 6, and I put my J here. I and J. Now, that's the last activity. Since that's the last activity, the next box to draw is called your N box. So we have our N box here. Okay, we have our N box. Now, any activity that does not have anything coming out of the right hand side must go to end. So in this case here, J doesn't have anything coming out, so it goes to end. Now, as we scan our network, we realize that F also does not have anything coming out of it. So what we do, we go also F to end. Now this is your sketch. Now this is very important because when we lay out our network diagram, we'll know how to lay out our boxes based on this. We'll have start A, then B and C, then H, E, D and F, then I and G, J, and then end. Now, before we go to the next step, let me just draw here the key. Now the key is very important. For every question that you do on PERT, we must use a key. The key tells us which standard we are using. The key is actually the actual box. Now this is what it looks like. I'm going to keep it here so that we have it for reference. Key. A here means activity. We have early start. We have duration, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish, slack. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to write out for you the meanings of each one. This is our key. We use this key each time we draw our network diagram. This will then tell the one who's reading it what each number means. So ES stands for earliest start time. Earliest start. EF equals, in this case, earliest finish. Okay. Now in this case here, D means duration, or in the case of what we have just done with probabilistic times, the expected time. So I'm going to put both. It means duration / expected time. This is expected activity time for each activity. Then we have LS. Now LS means latest start, the latest start of the project. And LF means latest finish. And then slack means slack time. Okay, so this is the key that we will be using in the next part of the exercise. Okay, now the next step is, after you have drawn your sketch, we have to draw the PERT diagram. The PERT diagram is based on your sketch. From start, we had A, then from A, the predecessor for B was A, predecessor for C was A. So it's pretty much the sketch now. Instead of circles now, you're drawing this diagram. You're drawing this box but empty, and you superimpose it here. So we have A going to B as based on how we did the sketch. Now, one thing very important to notice here, as I mentioned to you before, with each activity, please notice that all the arrows are coming into the left-hand side, and all arrows going out are going out to the right-hand side. In this case of B, it's coming out to the right. I have avoided showing arrows going from the top or the bottom. It can confuse you when doing the backward pass. Now, based on your sketch I showed you for level 2, there was one activity on it. In this case here, level 1, 2, 3, 4. Level 4 had 4 activities on it. Level 5, 2 activities. And level 6, 1. Now, in an exam, what you can do is, with your exam paper, you can actually turn your paper landscape. Now, when you turn your paper landscape, you would have now the lines on your paper looking like this, going down. This would be the lines. What you can do, in order to make everything simple, you can actually, remember these lines are faded. What you can do is, using a ruler, just draw the lines down. Use these 4 lines here, 3 columns, to make your PERT diagram. And in this case here, what you would have done is not fully go down there. So you would have pretty much, like if that was your line, your lines on your exam paper, what you would have actually done is just drawn a line going across, one more here, one coming down here, and then one going like this. And then what you can do is, just with your hand, you can just overwrite this. This makes it very easy to draw in an exam condition, just by turning the paper landscape using the 3. And then what you can do, you can leave a space, one of the lines on your paper, you can leave a space there, so that when you're drawing the next activity, so if you're doing A, say this is A, now for B, what you would do, let me draw another line here. B would be just draw one line across, draw another line across, draw this line down, this line, come like this, and then fill in manually like that. Remember, this would be a fainted line, so you would not really see it. And then you can have your activity B. This is an exam how to draw the boxes quickly and also make it look neat. All you would need is like a ruler just to do that. And you can do them very quickly using these lines as guidelines. Yeah, this is just for your exam a very important point to note. So, as you see here, we have our PERT diagram. one thing very important is to label your diagram, how I've labeled it, PERT diagram, and also to draw your key. You get marks for doing this, for labeling the diagram and drawing the key. Now this key is the same for all your PERT diagrams that you'll be doing. All you have to do is memorize it. Okay. Now, let's now look at what is the next step. After drawing your PERT diagram, it's now important now to fill it in. Now the first thing we're going to fill in, based on our key, is your duration time or expected time. Now D is the one that we're going to fill first. Okay. Now, what was your duration time for activity A? Your duration time for activity A was 6. So in your duration part, you put 6. Okay. Again, the middle part on the top is for duration time. So your duration time, or in this case expected time, for activity A is 6. For B, it is 6. For C, it is 3. For D, it is 10. For E, is 6. F is 4. G is 3. H is 8. I is 4. J is 4. Okay. First thing to do is fill in your duration time or your expected time. Now this expected times you had just calculated at the very beginning of the question. First thing you did was to work out your expected time. Now, to make life easy, is in this question it would be good to use different colors when doing your forward pass and your backward pass. So for my forward pass, what I will do, I would use, for your forward pass, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to label it forward pass. Now the forward pass deals with the earliest start and earliest finish, which is the top part of the box. Earliest start and earliest finish. Now, let's look at activity A. What is the earliest start time for activity A? Now, activity A has no predecessors. So the earliest start for activity A is on the 0th day. Time 0. 0 and 6 is 6. The earliest start plus the expected time will give us our earliest finish time. Now, let's go to B. What is the earliest start time for B? Earliest start time meaning this one here. Now, can B start on the 5th day? No. Because in order for B to start, A has to be finished. A is finishing on the 6th day. Therefore, the earliest start for B has to be 6. Once this is completed. So we put the 6 here. 6 plus 6, 12. Now, C. The earliest start for C comes from A. How we figure this out is we look and see what is coming into the left-hand side. What is coming into the left-hand side? A. So, the earliest finish becomes the earliest start for this. So in this case here, it is 6. 6 and 3, 9. Now we go in alphabetical order. So we go A, B, C, now D. D. Where is D coming from? C. So the earliest start for D is 9. 9 and 10, 19. F now comes, D, let's go to E. Where's E coming from? E is coming from B, so that is 12. 12 and 6, 18. We go to F now. F is coming from, and how we always know that is we look always on the left hand side. Where's the left hand side coming from? It's coming from C. What is the earliest finish here? 9. So the earliest start here would be 9. 9 and 4, 13. Alphabetical order now would be G. Now look at this. G has now 2 activities coming into it. What are 2 activities? D and E. Now, let's think about this. If I was to use 18, 18 is the number coming from E. It means that E is finishing on the 18th day. Can G start? No, because also D is required for G to start. D is finishing on the 19th day. So there are 2 activities coming into G, but G must have both activities finished before it can start. So the rule is, in the forward pass, we pick the maximum value, the largest value. In this case, what are the 2 values? 18 and 19. What is the largest one? 19. So for G, the earliest start is the largest of the 2 numbers coming in. Which are the 2? Looking at the 2 arrows that are coming into that box, it's either 18 or 19. Since we have to use the largest number, we use 19. This is for the forward pass. In the forward pass, we use the maximum value. Okay, we have done G. Comes G, H. H has 1 B coming into it, so that is 12. 12 and 8, 20. Now, I has H, which is this, 20 plus 4, 24. Okay. Now, G here I didn't complete, but G was 19 plus 3 is 22. Okay. G, H, I. Now let's go to J. Again, J. J has 2 values coming into it, 22 and 24. The rule says take the maximum value. The maximum value here is 24. 24 plus 4 is 28. Now, let's look at the N box. The N box has 2 arrows coming in. What is the largest of the 2 values? The largest of the 2 values coming into it is 28. So we put 28 on the inside of N. So what this tells us, it takes us 28 days to complete the project.